Hi everyone. Very rarely do we get snow in Liverpool. I know it's a little more common in different other parts of the country, but honestly, I've been waiting for years to have a little bit of snow in Liverpool, so possibly I could go out and then do a little video and give people an idea on how to drive in it. So that didn't happen, but luckily enough there has been a little bit of snow over the last couple of weeks, and there's some due. I've actually just filmed this today. I'm going to stick it out a little bit later on this evening, and there's some due over the next few days, so I think it's a good time for this video to go out. But this is all down to John, my viewer. He's a delivery driver, and this all happened in one day. So, day in the life of John, delivery driver, driving in some snowy conditions. When we're driving in conditions like this, we've got to keep loads of good space and keep our speed down. But what I always say to my pupils is, imagine if you were walking in these conditions. Try and drive in the same way. So any inputs that involve steering, speeding up or slowing need to be done very gingerly and very gently.
Turn left, then take the third right.
Hills or slopes of any kind play an important part in your planning. When John is doing this left turn, he spots a vehicle coming up the hill. So it's easier for the vehicle going down the hill to hold back and wait, which he demonstrates perfectly.
In a quarter of a mile, your destination will be on the left.
This looks like the same road as the previous clip, but this time John's not coming into the road, he's going out. And now we're uphill, as you can see. So all John's thoughts are to try and keep a little bit of momentum if you possibly can. Slow down early, look early, and see whether you can keep moving. Nice job. If you have to stop, try and stop at a place where you think grip is reasonable. We're going to see some problems with stopping on hills a little bit later. Not only is John waiting in this queue where the grip seems reasonable, he's also waiting what seems to be a bit further back than normal. This is good. It gives you a better view, and it gives you less of a chance of going into that van if you were hit from behind. Remember, if at all possible, we're trying to keep moving, and letting people out from side roads may mean that you've got to stop. However, this clip shows it can be done if you're skilled enough at showing people early enough with your speed and your position. We don't want to stop and then cause problems getting going again. This is only a couple of minutes up the road. Why do you think John stopped here in this clip? Well, it helps in a number of ways. First of all, he's found a place which has good grip. Secondly, it reduces risk with the van in front. This hill is quite steep, and if for any reason this van starts sliding back, he's got time to take some evasive action. It also may cause some problems with people from behind. John's position in the road for me is plenty good enough to show people he's still in the queue. He's not parked next to the curb, but you're always going to get people with this scenario who think that you are parked and are going to try and come past. They won't be smart enough to recognise what John is doing. But John's observant enough to deal with these type of people. Anyway, this is what John was doing it for. He's able to move off and keep the flow going. And this mindset works in good conditions also, but it just has to be amplified in these terrible conditions. So we need to keep our speed and inputs to a minimum. We also need to try and drive in the highest gear possible, and this reduces the chance of wheel spin. But unfortunately, sometimes that's going to happen anyway, especially uphill in these conditions. The simplest way I can find to describe this is the wheels spinning polish the snow, and this reduces traction. What do you think's going on now? Why is John going backwards? Now forwards again. Now backwards again. Well, he's trying to find an area with better grip. You've got to be really aware of who's following, obviously. We've also got a similar situation here. I'd just like to draw people's attention to sometimes the untouched snow may very well have more grip than the snow that's been driven over many times. But obviously not enough in this scenario for John to keep his momentum. So what now? Might even be time for plan B. Turn round and abandon. If you can, let us know what you did in this situation, John. Cheers, mate. In this clip, John's trying to park here on the right by the two bins to make his delivery, but he can't get there. So let's just go through his mindset. So he's rolled back, tried to get more grip. Nope, you could see the slide there. So let's go a little bit further back. Let's try and position our vehicle to where the grip may very well be at its highest. Let's try again. All gentle with the controls, nice and smooth. Yeah, we've got this momentum going now. Now let's try and keep it going. We don't want to be too harsh and start spinning, but we've got to get up there. Perfect. So now the delivery's been done, we've got to go through the same process to continue up the road. Remember, smooth inputs. Imagine if you were walking up this slope. You'd take small steps, you wouldn't try and sprint, or you wouldn't try and turn into a driveway really fast, would you? It's exactly the same with the car. The next statement by the sat-nav and John's reaction is golden.
Traffic on your route is slower than usual. You should reach your destination by 10:09.
Another steep slope with snowy weather for a delivery. But what happens next is particularly impressive for me. John stops his van on the left, and I think he tries to move forward. But it's when he moves forward, the van starts to slide. Without panicking, but with some quick thinking, he turns his wheels so the actual curb stops his descent. Very clever. Top class, John. So when the delivery's done, John couldn't turn round at the top of the cul-de-sac, so he's had to reverse. If your wheels lock, come off the brake pressure and then reapply. But do what you can to keep the car, or van in this case, under control, even if that means reversing out of the cul-de-sac. This shouldn't be done in theory, especially driving a van, but you've got to think on what lowers risk the most. You may have also just seen John turn his lights on when he was going to drive forward again, and that's what you should always do driving in these conditions. Dipped headlights even in the day, but not fog lights like the car coming towards us. John called this clip "Sometimes Rules Go Out the Window." He shouldn't be turning this side of the bollard. But you think of the problems if he hadn't have done. The car's already slid off and gone up the curb. He took a wide course so he could see as much as he could into the new road, but decided to turn down the wrong side. This is rarely ever going to be required, but with this scenario, with the view that he had ahead and into this road that he's now in, it was a perfect solution. But if you're ever doing this, remember, you're on the wrong side of the road. So I hope that was useful. I'd like to say a massive thanks to John, as always, for the contribution that he makes to this channel. His clips are honestly brilliant, and hopefully they've helped a load of people. Let me know in the comments whether it's helped you or not, whether there was bits of John's driving that I've gone through that you didn't know about or that you wouldn't do, or you think that that's a good or bad idea. We're always up for discussion, remember, on this channel. Last little bit of advice: if the weather is truly bad, one little bit that I didn't mention is don't go out unless it's necessary, which we shouldn't be doing at the moment anyway. So take care, everyone. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you soon.